Harper here, and joining me today is Richie Barnett, life coach. Richie, bro, thank you so much for joining me today.
Absolute pleasure, mate. Absolute pleasure.
Cool, man. That one question. What was the number one attribute or skill that you needed when you first started out in business to be successful? It's a bit of a loaded question, really, isn't it?
It is a big loaded question. I think it's actually being open enough to analyze your weaknesses and strengths. If I went back 15 years ago to do it, I would have absolutely nailed it down to the strengths and weaknesses and opportunities and strengths, obviously, that nice analysis. Grid. Yep. Yeah. SWOT analysis. And really delve deep and say, where is it that you need to build upon? Then I would have straight away jumped on someone who's succeeded and modeled their behavior around it. What did they do? What were their habits? What were their routines? And take a bit of that knowledge and have a mentor that's close to you to guide you along the way, because there's so many questions and so many challenges that you do go through that you need someone to respond and be that voice for you.
Be that voice and actually be accountable and help you hold you accountable as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
I like that, the strengths and the weaknesses, because you're actually the first one to say that. So we're at 15 interviews, every single one's answered this question differently, but I love the strengths and weaknesses, because I think sometimes, and I was like that in corporate as well, is that I didn't want to look at my weaknesses. I didn't want to sort of go there with that. But the big weakness for me when I first started my first business is that it failed because I didn't ask for help. Yep. I felt too stink about it. I felt, and even the sort of second time around, but what I've learned, I know what my strengths are, I know what my weaknesses are, and I get, sort of like you said, I just get the right people around me to help do all that other stuff that I'm not very good at, and so I can actually really work on my strengths.
Yeah, and I absolutely agree, because I think and I was the same, but in a different way. I was so I get so tunnel visioned sometimes, because I've done it when reaching the heights of rugby league. To get there, I did it all on my own. And I thought I could do it as well. I made a lot of mistakes. Don't get me wrong, a lot of mistakes. And if I had to do it again, I would have modeled someone else to do it.
Yeah.
I would have opened my worldview a bit wider and absorbed all that information, because people have done it many times before in different industries. Like, don't be that person. Don't be that person that think you know everything. Just go in there and get that support, absorb as much as you can, ask more questions. And because you just don't want to fail. And I know failure is part of the journey, but you don't want to fail too often and make bigger mistakes along the way, because there's a lot of financial investment and time consumed in running businesses.
Yeah, and it's a bigger hole to get out of once you start going down that track of things aren't, it's that bloody law of attraction. When things are going really well, you tend to attract more opportunities, but when things are going the other way, it tends to compound and compound. And I think you said one really key point was open your worldview. I mean, we were talking earlier about just obviously things that are going on, and everybody's getting so closed with their view, and is basically just opening that up and being curious and asking questions and just being open.
Yeah, I think curiosity is a really good word, because that opens up the process of accepting what's out there. But I also think in times where we are in uncertain times, a lot of it surrounding us, we are hearing so much external noise coming through, and it's creating a stress response mode to how we're reviewing it and perceiving information. And with all the stresses around financial and uncertainty, relationships, that's compounded by it as well. I'm finding that we are really starting to hear the noise on TV. We're hearing it on radio. We see it on Instagram and Facebook, and
you can't get away with it.
But then we choose to either one, look at bullet points on the news, or choose to watch the whole news uncover. And as we know, most 80% of it's negative. Most of what we hear and what we read is all negative. So it's our choice that we make to either do that or not. And because we're in control of those things, before that controls us.
Cool, Richie, thank you so much for your time, bro. Really appreciate it.
Pleasure, brother.
Cheers.